Ain't nothing better than watching you smile. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ain't nothing better than watching you laugh out loud, my baby. Ain't nothing better than watching you be you. Ain't nothing better than right now. In your eyes lie the secrets I don't wanna miss. Put your hand in my hand and make a fist. Grab my shirt, curl your lip as if you know. Staring back in my eyes saying please don't go. I don't know what I know, what I know, what I know what it is that you really, really want or you need. I hate every moment away from you. I see you sleeping in my dreams. I know you're in your mother's arms. I know that you're safe from harm. You know I'm coming home real soon, and I'm bringing all my love for you. Ain't nothing better than watching you smile. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ain't nothing better than watching you laugh out loud, my baby. Ain't nothing better than watching you be you. Ain't nothing better than right now. And I can't take away the pain if I don't know you're hurting again. I can't leave you on your own if I know you're crying all alone. And my heart's bumping black and blues. That's how I feel when I'm not with you. A million years pass every day, losing the time, I'm always on my way. I don't know what I know, what I know, what I know what to do. I hope you understand when I'm gone. I always come back home for you. Open your eyes to a brand new dawn. Ain't nothing better than watching you smile. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ain't nothing better than watching you laugh out loud, my baby. Ain't nothing better than watching you be you. Ain't nothing better than right now. Let us have this moment of truth. Let us have this moment out you. Let us have this moment of truth. Let us have this moment out you. 'Cause all my time goes so fast. I hope my life slows so this can last. All my time goes so fast. I hope
Meet me in front of Strand Books at 2.
Hey there, guy. Hey there, little guy.
Sweet. Remind me to buy tickets for Monsieur Gano tonight. Where's the music section? Is Paul here yet? Huh. Cool. Take a photo of this. Share it to my circles. Oh, I'm running late. Music, stop.
Hi, what's up?
Hey,
Hey.
you want to say something cool?
Yeah, sure. Is that a ukulele?
Yep. Okay, here goes.
Hi, my name is Johnny Lee, and in this video I'm going to show you how to perform head tracking and create desktop virtual reality displays using the Nintendo Wii Remote. Now first, what do I mean by a desktop VR display? Well, when you think about most computer screens, they're typically used to display a flat image, a little bit like this picture in this picture frame. Even if the picture is of something 3D, like a video game, the picture is still flat, so it doesn't change depending on what angle you view the screen at. A desktop VR display, however, is a little bit like taking the picture out of the picture frame and then just having the frame. Now the scene actually changes depending on what angle I view the screen at. So this essentially becomes a portal or a little window into another room. Now to do this, the computer needs to know the location of your head relative to the screen, and this is called head tracking. Now to perform head tracking, we're going to be using the Wii Remote and the sensor bar, but we're actually going to be using them backwards. We're going to put the Wii Remote next to the TV and actually move the sensor bar instead. The Wii Remote actually contains an infrared camera, and the sensor bar is simply two sources of infrared light. When the camera sees the two dots of light, it's going to give an approximate location of my head horizontally, vertically, and in distance from the screen. Okay, the tricky part is now we're going to have to find some way to mount the sensor bar onto our head. One common trick is to get a baseball cap and then mount the hardware to the cap. And this is definitely going to work, but it's a little bit goofy. So instead, some hardware stores sell these safety glasses with LEDs built in on the side meant to be used as headlamps. Now if you replace the LEDs with infrared ones, you essentially get your head-mounted sensor bar and a nice sporty safety goggle form factor. Once we've created our head-mounted sensor bar and I've connected my Wii Remote to my PC, we're ready to do some head tracking. First, I'm going to show you what it looks like without head tracking, which is what displays normally look like. You can see that although it's a picture of a 3D room, the image looks very two-dimensional and bound to the surface of the TV. Now with head tracking turned on, the TV actually looks like the entrance to a real room. Just like in real life, by moving our head around, we can look behind objects. And if you look really closely, some targets actually appear to be floating out in front of the screen, reaching into the real world. If we get closer to the screen, we get closer to the objects, and we can even get behind the ones floating in front of the screen. As I pull the camera back, keep an eye on the frontmost target. Head tracking provides the illusion that the target is actually floating directly above the laptop screen, far in front of the TV. Now using this picture of a football stadium, if you move right, you can see more of the field. If you move left, you can see more of the stands. And if you get closer to the screen, you see more of everything, just like a real window. If I use my IR glasses and keep the sensor bar on the TV, I can use a second Wii Remote to point and shoot like any Wii game while also doing head tracking. So now ducking and shifting your body is actually meaningful to a game. You can also see now how the perspective is incorrect if you are not the one wearing glasses. So head tracking for VR displays is only going to work for one person at a time. But for that one person, the 3D experience is going to be far more realistic and immersive than anything else we see in homes today.
Leonardo is, I would say, the most sophisticated social robot in the world today.
What?
We call it the Stradivarius of robots. It is the most expressive robot in the world today.
You're making some quite bold claims there, but am I actually going to be able to see any of this? I'll tell you why. I've met many scientists recently, and they all make these claims, and then when I say, can I see it, they've gone, no. So I'm going to ask you now, can I see some of this happen?
Oh, it's your lucky day.
Yeah?
Yes.
Hello, Leo. Leo, this is Elmo. Can you find Elmo? Hey, Leo, look at Elmo. Wow. Isn't he awesome? Yeah.
Leo's never seen this before. He doesn't know what it is. When Maddie introduces this novel thing, he gets really excited about it.
Right.
Hey, look at Elmo.
So Leo goes, oh, maybe I should get excited. He's picking up the emotional labeling, so to speak, of what Maddie's doing for these novel entities in the world, and then Leo's starting to adopt that.
Leo, this is Cookie Monster. Leo, Cookie Monster is very bad. He's very bad, Leo. He's a scary monster. He wants to eat all your cookies.
So the blue monster, Matt, isn't so keen on.
Exactly. It turns out that for children, when they're about a year old, a lot of what they learn is through this, what's called social referencing.
He wants to steal your cookies.
Children learn things like if the mother actually like, don't do that, you know. They might not exactly know what it is they should be doing, but they pick up on that effect and they start associating like, that's a negative thing, I shouldn't do that. Or this is something that you like it, then I should probably like it.
Okay, Leo, I'll take him away.
He's designed that way actually to get people to want to interact with him in a way that's much more like a sort of parent to child or parent to puppy sort of relationship.
And we'll spend more time being more patient with it.
You might be more patient with it. You might enjoy it more, you know.
We move to a much better or consumer-oriented pendant version of that many of you are now knowing as sixth sense device. The camera is actually tracking all your gestures. Whatever you are doing with your hands, it's understanding that gesture. You can start painting on any wall, that you stop by a wall and start painting on that wall. But we are not only tracking here one finger. We are giving you the freedom of using both of hands. So you actually can use both of your hands to zoom into or zoom out a map just by pinching operation. Rather than getting your camera out of your pocket, you can just do the gesture of taking a photo, and it takes photo for you. Right? And of course, if you don't have any surface, you can start using your palm for simple operation. I'm dialing a phone number just using my hand. Yep. Ping pong game inside the train on the ground, right? And I think the imagination is the only limit of what you can think of when this kind of technology merging with the real life. You can, of course, watch movies.
Good afternoon. My name is Russell, and I am a wilderness explorer in Tribe 54.
And you can, of course, play games. Here the camera is actually understanding how you're holding the paper and playing the car racing game.
In this system. Each rail is a 5x5 vinyl fence post with the vinyl caps on the ends. The posts are set 5 apart. So basically I just used the cap in between the posts, and that's how I staged how far apart they are. In the rails they have 4-inch netty cups. The net cups were, I believe, actually 3 3/4, 3.75s, so they were drilled out. And they were staggered. So what I mean by that is this first rail, there's 7 plant sites that go down the rail. The next rail is 6 plant sites. As you can see, the plants, let me come from the end, the plants are staggered rail to rail to rail. Threading a 1/2-inch solid PVC pipe and putting the heads directly into that, and then running 1/2 inch all the way up, which creates plenty of pressure. All the heads work and run great. So back to the rail, 5x5 post, 2 end caps. A lot of guys on the ends, or a lot of manufacturers, will glue the ends in place, which is fine. I wanted a system that was easily broke down, easy to clean, you know, take apart, get to all the intricate parts real easy. So first problem was coming up with a way to deal with the ends. So what I came up with is this little T-piece. This is a nylon wing nut that goes to a nylon bolt that I drilled the center of the cap. Now you might see, drip it, because I just took the pressure off, because the system is running right now. You may see a little bit of fluid come out of this end cap here. And if you look, there's a little plumber's fitting right there. That's actually a pipe gasket. You can get that in Lowe's in the section. It's much bigger than that, but I cut it down to fit. You can actually see the indentation from the pipe at the end. You can see the indentation around the edge of it, and that's from the end of the cap here. So the first goal was I wanted to be able to open this up so I can get to the roots, see the sprinklers if they're running, and mainly, once I break the system down for a new crop, I can thoroughly open this up and clean it out, no problem. You have a sprinkler head on each side of center to the cups, which, as you can see, sprays up nicely on the roots, and the roots seem to love it, you know. So now, let me get this cap back on, and we'll go to the other end of this rail. So you can see how much that actually does waterproof and keep this all sealed up. And so this is what I wanted to design with the system, was an easy maintenance. If there is a problem, I can expose the problem individually, isolate it to whatever rail, and, you know, try to
Now I'm controlling the robot. The lips movement are synchronized with mine. By doing something as dramatic or as extreme as this, it really makes people think about the role of technology in their everyday life. And that's absolutely great. Imagine, for instance, you have someone like this sitting at a kindergarten telling stories. It doesn't have to be my face, it could be another face. And then the robot will tell your stories over and over and over and over again. Now, people usually object to this idea. And then I ask them, are you happy with a TV or a DVD set doing the same thing? And they typically say, oh, yeah. So I'm interested in what makes up the difference here. Be happy to play with robots.
Hi, my name is Johnny Lee, and I'm going to show you how to create a cheap electronic whiteboard system using the Nintendo Wii Remote. Now, just like my other video on tracking your fingers using the Wiimote, this project is also only going to use the infrared camera built into the front of each controller. Now, this camera is sensitive only to sources of infrared light, which is why it can track things like the Nintendo sensor bar, light bulbs, or candles. So if we want to track pens on an electronic whiteboard, all we have to do is create pens that emit infrared light. The light pen is composed of an infrared LED, a push button switch, and a connection to a power supply, which could easily be a battery. When I push the button, the LED turns on. This is basically an LED flashlight in a pen form factor. If you want to make one for yourself, you just start off with a shell from a normal ink pen and then glue in your components. Now behind me is a projected image of my computer. Now if I want to interact with that image with my light pens, I have to make sure that the Wii Remote can always see the tip of the pen. To do this, I have to put the Wiimote off to the side so I don't block its view when I'm in front of the projected image. I've made this little stand for my Wiimote, but you can use any material you have around the house to prop it up in the right orientation. Now when I put it on the shelf, I have to make sure it's pointed at the screen so we can see the whole area. Now it's important to remember that the Wiimote has a field of view of about 45 degrees. So make sure you're back far enough to see the whole screen, but not too far back, because otherwise you'll lose tracking resolution. Once I connect the Wiimote to the computer over Bluetooth, I can do a standard 4-point touch calibration like they do on most electronic whiteboards. What this does is it maps the camera coordinates to the projector coordinates, and now the cursor will show up wherever my pen is, and I can simulate a mouse and draw on a drawing program or manipulate my windows. One nice thing about using the Wiimote to do this is any surface I can project onto, I can basically turn into an interactive whiteboard. Now what I have here is a projector mounted onto a tripod, which is kind of a generally useful thing to do anyway. And it's now pointing at this tabletop. And the Wiimote is actually attached to the projector, so we can have this top-down view of this display. Again, after I do the 4-point touch calibration, I can now use my pen just like a mouse, and I can interact with my table like it's a multi-$1,000 interactive whiteboard. Additionally, because the Wii Remote can track up to 4 points simultaneously, if we use 2 pens, this is actually a multi-touch interactive system. If you don't happen to have a projector, you can still use the same technique with a liquid crystal display. You simply mount the Wii Remote, point it at our display, and then do our 4-point touch calibration. Now we can essentially turn any liquid crystal display into a multi-touch tablet surface. So that's how, with the Nintendo Wii Remote and some infrared LED light pens, you can create your own really low-cost multi-touch interactive whiteboard system or multi-touch tablet PC. Now, in truth, the tracking resolution you're going to get off the camera is not going to be as good as one of the commercial products, but it's pretty good and it's much, much cheaper.
Hi, my name is Tammy, and my daughter Cheryl Ann and I had the wonderful opportunity to attend a robotics class at Morland MakerSpace this weekend. I could not have been more impressed. Morland MakerSpace is a fantastic addition to our community. She has a passion for science, and being able to attend this robotics class and being able to have some hands-on exposure to advanced technologies meant the world to her. We both learned so much, and I'm excited to see what's going to be coming in the future.
What?